Hey everybody, how are you guys doing today? I am Jeff Fuller, and today we are joined by Nick Bushhorn and from Pinpoint International. We have Jerry Lee Medeiros from Some Facer Manufacturing, and we all know where I'm from, I hope, at least by now. So let's go ahead and we'll grab just a couple of comments we have here. We have Aaron joining us, and we have Ramona here as well.
Hola.
And today we're going to be interviewing Nick from Pinpoint International about kind of what he does, what got him started in the industry, and all of that fun stuff. So why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit about you and your company first?
Okay. My dad actually started Pinpoint about 20 years ago. He was working for a company as a salesman and kind of just thought it was time to go out on his own. He took, but a bunch of people came with him as far as customer base, his accounts, giving them really good customer service. And it just kind of snowballed from there. Just priding ourselves on taking care of the customer, giving attention, treating people with respect, and valuing people's time, and not just being order takers. Like, actually, hey, what is really going on with your machine? What do you need? What does your business need? What's the best way we can help your business? And then when I graduated college, I just came to work for the family business and started out in the warehouse, boxing orders, shipping orders, and worked my way up to purchasing and sales and kind of jack of all trades.
That's important too. When you take on a family business, statistically, the second generation doesn't make it. But when you see the ones that are second, third, fourth, so on and so forth, somebody started at the bottom and worked their way up. That's always how I find people get where they're trying to get, by learning it. That's how we do it in embroidery too.
Yeah, and that's how it really helped me in sales to start out with the parts and everything and learn all the products and be hands-on with, if somebody buys this, they always buy this with it. And to know, if you need this, then you probably need this too. And just kind of help me learn about all the individual components of the machine and the best way to help people.
I like that.
Awesome. I'm going to grab just a couple of more comments here. Cool. We have Marla saying hello.
Hello.
We have Liz with GSG on.
Hi, Liz. Good to see you.
We have Letty on.
Hey, Letty.
Frank stayed up in England.
He's in England. Hey, Frank. Thank you for joining us on the other side.
And we have Eric here as well. So, all right, Jerry Lee, you want to drill in with questions or should I start?
Well, so Nick, so full transparency. I've known Nick via business for some time now because he actually carries most of my product, actually almost all my products actually. But I did
almost all of them, yeah.
Pretty close. The donut's the only one sitting out, but your dad is who I started with.
Yeah.
And he was always just the nicest person. And so then when it transitioned, I noticed the same name and I thought, okay, father-son deal. That's really cool. And so I like that family feel. So what you do is you sell aftermarket parts, right?
Oh, no, we sell genuine machine parts. Specialize in Tajima mostly. I'd say 80% Tajima parts.
Okay.
Barrett Brother, SWF, Happy, Melco, but mostly Tajima Barrett, I'd say would be our specialty, but it's 95% OEM parts unless they don't make it. If they've discontinued a part, then we'll sell a generic or an aftermarket. Like some hoops, we'll sell some aftermarket hoops, like Durkee hoops and Allied hoops, but we try to do as much, genuine stuff as we can.
Well, I owe you an apology there. I misspoke by using the term aftermarket. I did not fully understand that, obviously, because what I meant was you sell like genuine parts after people buy their machines.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So there's my aftermarket. So yeah, okay. So now I understand much better what that is. So
all right. Well, 1 second. I'm gonna grab you because Ramona asked a question, and I think it's very relevant at this moment in time. What is Pinpoint for those that don't know?
Hopefully, that's a small group that doesn't know. But we sell embroidery machine parts and supplies. So mostly industrial machines, but all the parts that we can get our hands on and every supply that you use. So backing, bobbins, hoops,
nice.
bobbin cases, needles, thread, zippers, adhesive sprays, everything.
What brand of needles do you sell?
Grossbeckert, Schmetz, and Oregon are the needle brands.
Nice. Are you out of stock on anything currently?
Needle-wise?
And anything wise. Where are you on your backing or anything that you carry? Are you having supply issues right now?
We're having, delays. Not necessarily
yes,
can't
delays.
get it, but it's taking twice as long on mostly the bobbins backing. And I think we're having sometimes a little bit of a thread supply issue, but that's just because we're selling so much thread. It's hard to keep up. But really, it's just been on the production side of the backing and bobbins for the most part. And parts, it's just taken a little bit extra time to get them. And I think that's because you add, a 2-week quarantine on stuff from overseas, whatever they do to,
Well, so let me ask you, I'm sorry, Jeff, go ahead. Sorry.
That pulls us right into Justin's question. He says, sorry he couldn't make it. I'll throw popcorn at him later. But with the supply chain issue, what product parts are being most effective, and do you foresee more issues on the getting stock of parts?
I think that just the things we mentioned, but what I've kind of adapted to it, you know what I mean? Where I would buy, let's say, 200,000 pieces of backing. Now I'm going to get 400,000.
Nice.
I'm going to bulk up my stock levels to make sure that if I do have to wait, I'm going to be covered.
Are you in stock on all your like on backing, etc.? Are you in stock?
Most stuff.
Bobbins and whatnot?
Yeah, I actually just got a big shipment of bobbins in. We were maybe a few days or a week, we were kind of low, but now I got a lot, and the plan is to keep the ball rolling and never run out.
Nice. That's the way to do it.
I mean, ultimately, with all the stock, this whole pandemic, it's businesses that pivot and adapt to the changing situation that stay in there. So by doubling up your orders, you're essentially trying to cover yourself for now and in the future.
Yep.
Right. We know we'll eventually sell it. It's just, where normally we wouldn't want to have a bunch of overhead tied up in it, but now it's kind of, we have to.
Yep, we do. All of us need to do that for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm going to bring up this comment. For those looking to find Pinpoint, here's their site, pinpointinternational.com. And I will go ahead and pull up. I made a thing, Jerry Lee. Hold on.
Oh, he made a thing. Oh,
there you go. Pinpointinternational.com as well. And then I'm going to jump back to, we have a couple more comments. So I have to, there's a lot of clicking going on.
You just click away, my friend.
Yeah, all good.
There we go. Laura asks, what new products are you most excited about?
Good question, Laura. Thanks. Nick?
I do like that Puff Pro tool. We sell a lot of foam. A lot of HD foam, and I've been told by by objective sources that we sell the best HD foam.
Okay.
So just that tool being able to help with the cleanup. I mean, obviously with the HD foam, you have less cleanup than with the standard density foam. But any little bit can help,
Yeah, high density does perforate and embroider a lot cleaner, and it also stands up a lot better. Well, let me ask you, what thicknesses of foam do you carry in both standard density and high density?
We just do 2 millimeter and 3 millimeter.
Can you get anything more?
I can get it. I just would have to, get, I don't even know, 1,000 sheets or whatever, and I'd rather to sell someone 2 millimeter pieces than have to get 1,000 4 millimeter.
Oh, I agree. I'm just thinking, like, my little brain is going, like, okay, like, what's the thickest we can get, and how can we get it under that machine presser foot?
I've
I leave that kind of thing to
heard
Jeff.
of 5 and 6 millimeter, but we just do 2 and 3, and
Okay. And you
So
carry
I know when I go really, really thick, I use a spray adhesive to laminate the foam together so that it doesn't shift as the needle goes through it.
Yeah.
And what colors do you carry? Do you carry a large variety of foam colors?
Yeah, we have probably, I don't know, I want to say about 10 or 12 colors.
Wow, that's nice. Cool.
So I'm going to bring up one more comment, and it's from Liz here. Need your contact info for Brother Parts. Have customers looking for older parts. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what would be the best way?
You can go to the website, and we have like a contact form you can fill out, or just email. Like my email is nick@pinpointinternational.com, or the phone number's on the website.
And Liz, I'll also send that to you. Also, Nick, Liz, Elizabeth Beavers is Liz Beavers. She's with GSG out of Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
So the ZSK folks down there. And so if you guys, Liz, if you didn't catch all of that, I'll just drop you Nick's contact info also, and I'll drop you an email. So we'll get that.
I don't mind talking to people on the phone, or I know a lot of people prefer email, but it's just all the same to me. Call in, email, whatever. We'll help you, and we try to never rush anybody off the phone. So like if you call, it's not just like give me your order and get off. Like it's how can I help you?
I like that. That's a really, really good attitude to have in our business too. It makes a difference, and I find that with embroiders. Predominantly,
that sets us apart from, not going to name people's names, but it sets us apart from other companies that just, you call them, you order something, they send it to you, whether or not it's right for your machine or not. Like they don't check.
That doesn't really matter, eh?
Yeah.
That restocking fee.
Right. There you go.
No thanks. Jeff, what other comments do we have coming up?
So we have Eric who says that is the way. I think that's with laminating the foam together.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah.
Laura wants to know if nerds get a discount. We could talk about that later.
Yeah.
No pressure.
With Nick later.
If I'm sure I could do something for people that mention the podcast or mention this interview. We can figure something out for them.
Awesome.
Good, yeah, we'll figure out how much and whatnot, and we'll give all the nerds a little blurb later.
There you go. And Ramona says very nice catalog. And Liz says perfect. Thank you with getting the contact information. So one question that I've always I talked to you a little bit about it before the show, so it's kind of a loaded question. But what is the oldest machines that you support or sell parts for, I guess?
Oh, that's a great one too.
Like for Tajima, we do parts as far back as like the TME DC machines and the HC machines.
Can you give us a year, Nick? For those not familiar with those particular models.
Mid-90s.
Wow.
Do they still run off of punch cards?
No. I mean,
but are you in the 9 needle series and then when it goes to 12 needle to 15 needle or?
Yeah.
So
if it's available, I can get parts for it.
How about boards?
Boards, good question, because we have really been expanding our board repair. So that's like the first thing that gets discontinued on a machine is the electronic boards, as people probably found out.
It is.
And it doesn't matter if you can get all the other parts if the brains of the machine don't work.
Exactly.
We can, like I said, with the parts, mostly Tajima and Barrett, but we can try other boards, but we get boards repaired, refurbished. And what we try to do is, like, if you need a specific board, we'll sell you a refurbished board. You give us your old one, we'll fix it and keep it and give you a little money back.
So it's like kind of like the core exchange on a battery.
Right.
Okay, cool. I like
so
that.
One thing that I think is really, really interesting about this board repair that me and Nick talked about a little bit before is that you guys test all the boards that you repair in machines, right?
Right. I mean, as long as
Nice.
on the Tajimas, we test all of them.
That's good.
I can get other boards repaired, but it's kind of hit or miss on if they can be machine tested or not, depending on what the repair place has. But I know, like, even as far back as like the DC machines, those boards can be machine tested.
Oh, wow, that's old. That's good
Right.
news to have. I mean, I didn't know, honestly, I did not know that you were that deep into.
Yeah. We're trying to keep people's machines running and make sure you don't have to spend 15, 20, 30 grand on a new machine if you don't have to, if you don't really want to. Nothing against that. If you want to do that, totally fine. We'll get you parts for that.
Well, there's machines to sell too, and there's some to buy.
Yep.
That's how those parts stay going, is when people do get the older equipment or the newer equipment. I mean, I'm glad you're there to service all ends, all spectrums of that.
We try to cover all our bases.
Yeah, that's very good.
So you said that you kind of specialize more in the Tajima area. Is there any particular reason why you guys decided to specialize in that area, or is that just kind of how it turned out?
I think it's just kind of how it evolved. Like that's what we were doing when I came on board, and I think just connections on getting parts. Really just Tajima and Barrett, we had better connections on getting the parts, and I feel like those machines are more prevalent for the most part in the industrial space. I know, like in the home space, you got the Brothers and the Baby Locks and things like that, but we kind of are geared as far as part wise towards the industrial space. And obviously supply wise, we can cover anybody from, grandma in the garage to a big company. So
where would you be like I noticed there's some machines that I really like a lot that I didn't really hear in that list, but do you ever get anything for, say, ZSKs or Happies? Do those fit in that world anywhere? Do you ever get little parts, anything kind of float your way?
We can get those parts mostly on the machines that are kind of what I would consider like a fringe machine for what we do. You give me a part number, I'll get it for you. As far as
you have to source it, right?
Say what?
You have to source it. You have to go find it.
Right, but I got sources. It's just I don't keep them in the warehouse. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not spending money on stocking those parts, but I'll go get them for you.
Ooh, okay,
kind of like a special order type deal.
Right.
Nice. Okay.
But like if you have a Tajima or a Barrett, if you call and say, "Oh, I need the upper thread hook for this machine," I can go through my part book catalog. I can find it for you, or if I don't know it, and get it for you. Whereas if you said I need an upper thread hook for ZSK or whatever, I'd have to be like, "Well, give me the part number."
Okay, I see. Oh, I like it. I like that a lot. This is great.
So we have two questions in the comments here. We have Laura asking, do you think you will manufacture your own machine since you guys know machines so well?
It's not really worth the headaches, I think, for us. That's just a whole nother, kind of a whole different niche in the industry, I think. Actually worrying about machines and warranting machines and importing them, and because most of them, you can go get a bunch of machines made in China, but then like, can you stand behind them? I don't know. Like I know that like Tajima stands behind their machines and companies like that.
Yeah.
So do you guys also do you have technicians that work for you that go around and do service calls, or is it just strictly in the parts?
We have a good working relationship with a lot of independent technicians out in the field. So like if you were in whatever, Nebraska, and you said, I need a tech, I could find the closest tech that we work with and hook you up. But we don't like send guys out of our shop. And we do have always since the beginning have had a technician on staff. Somebody not in the field anymore, or they do it on the side. But we've been lucky and blessed to have technicians that work for us.
Gotcha.
So we do currently have a technician on staff. So.
That's really cool. Things I did not know.
Yeah.
So Mandy asks, would the Toyota 9100 fall under those parameters?
Yes, it would, because a Toyota 9000 is basically a Tajima Neo 1, and a Toyota 9100 is a Tajima Neo 2. They're the exact same machine. It's just that Toyota slapped Toyota on it. So all the parts, even the part numbers are the same. So Toyota 9000, 9100, I can even do like, I can probably get parts for some of the little bit older Toyotas, but not too much older.
Cool.
Gotcha. So what's been your favorite machine that has ever been manufactured?
I know that what people have said is a Neo, Tajima TEJT Neo machine single head is a really good machine. Personally, I've only done embroidery on like a couple different ones, like a TMFX or THX or something. But I wouldn't say I have enough experience to say what my favorite one to work with or work on is. But yeah, I just say Tajima personally. Like if someone says, what machine would you recommend? I'd say a Tajima. Second, third, but that's just my, from my experience talking to people.
Well, and you can get parts for them. So
right.
You warehouse parts. So Fred asks, Avance 1591C is a Tajima what?
I don't know.
It's not a Tajima.
It's not. I don't think it's a Tajima.
Here's the thing that I want to explain from that I can add to this a little bit, and that is that people will say it's like a Tajima. It's not. But when you hear that the Tajima Neo and the Toyota are exactly the same, in this case, it's actually true.
That is the one case that's actually true.
Yes, it was a partnership, and then there's also, isn't there, Nick? Isn't there there's a blackhead? It's like called the Tajima head that was on. I don't know if it was Melco's or something, but way back there was another a Tajima head put on a different maker's machine, and it's called, if you get that one, then it's got that head. But in this case, when Tajima and Toyota are in this one case said that they're the same.
Yeah,
in this case they are. Otherwise, it is not the
right.
same.
And there actually are a lot of Chinese machines out there that are pretty much knockoffs of Tajima machines. So like the parts will be compatible. So like a lot of Chinese machines,
didn't know that.
Tajima parts as far as like knives, cushions,
nice,
things like that. But it's kind of case by case basis, if that makes sense.
So,
those like depending on what machine they knocked off when they made this Chinese machine or knocked off.
So could Fred contact you then, Nick, and say, hey, this is my Avance? Is that how you say it, Jeff? Avance?
Yep, Avance. He's got a 1501C.
Okay, so
yeah.
So could Fred contact you and then say, hey, this is it, and then you could go see what parts might. Okay,
right.
Great. Cool.
Even if you could send me you're looking for a certain part, send me a picture of it. I could tell you if it's compatible or not.
Nice.
So Laura asks, do you see a shift in the industry where more home offices or commercial machines versus home machines, I guess?
I know, because of the cost. When you can get, when you're a brand new single head Tajima, I mean, we're talking brand new is, $15,000 or $20,000. You can get a used one for, I don't know, between 7 and 10 on, on a good day. But you can get a Brother home machine for about that brand new. Most people are going to opt for a new warranted single head machine rather than a used one.
Well, and one of the advantages to that is typically they have local support at their store, because it's usually brick and mortar stores that they're purchasing from. At least in my town, it is. People go to the brick and mortar store, they purchase it, the store services them, they sell them. They don't have to worry about calling a tech or finding a tech or any of that stuff that you kind of run into when you start crossing over into the commercial side.
Right.
So,
unfortunately, with the pandemic, I've seen a lot of the home mom and pop businesses kind of go by the wayside, unfortunately, and the bigger companies have kind of gobbled up that business from what I've seen so far. I hate to see that. I like to see, people working for themselves and supporting themselves.
Do you think maybe that some of those home businesses, do you think there's any possibility that they might have expanded or anything like that, or did they just go poof?
Who knows? I mean, maybe they expanded, maybe they pivoted to something else. I know at the beginning of everything, we tried selling elastic just to like keep the light,
for masks.
Just to like do something to expand, because a lot of places were shut down, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even then, elastic was hard to find.
Right.
Just the drain on resources happened real quick.
Well, I can tell you who had it. I know who had it. It was a company out here in Coeur d'Alene called Shabby Fabrics. And they actually, I worked there for a couple weeks, and it was interesting. And my entire job, the entire time that I was there, was wrapping fabric. They said I had the right size of hand and that I made it so neatly so that I became the head elastic wrapper. And I said, oh, no, we're not. No, you did not just do that to me. And that's when the fun began with me finding another. No, I'm not going to do that. But what they had done, and they told me it, but they had every color of elastic that you could imagine in like the most popular widths. And they had a warehouse of it. And they said straight up that, yeah, we had almost, when nobody could get elastic, that's because we had it. And I thought, don't brag. Don't be bragging now.
Yeah, I think we still got a couple boxes in the warehouse. Yeah.
All right. Well, I have to sit up now. It's big boy time. So have you operated machines? Did you ever because it sounds like you kind of grew up in the business where there was repair and part service. And so it kind of sounds like you grew up more on the service side and less on the operation side.
Yeah, I did actually work at like a mall store that had a couple of machines.
Were you in a mall or like we're a kiosk out in the middle? Like where you had
it was like a
real store thing?
Store, yeah. And we did, sewing on basically all we did was jerseys and hats. So like we would sew the names and numbers on the back of jerseys and hats. So like that's all I did, as far as just loading designs, hooping stuff, trimming.
You're probably really good at applique.
Oh, it's been so long I probably forgot.
He's like, and don't go there. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
All right. So you've operated, what kind of machine did they have at that time?
Actually, it was Tajima machines.
Lucked out. You could work there and get parts for it at the same time.
So you kind of always had, like, Tajima's long been in your life then. You kind of grew up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. So what have you seen has been like the biggest technology advancement in embroidery in your lifetime?
I think I guess this is more mechanical, but like the adjustable presser feet on the machines for the hats, for machines that are geared directly to hats. And I know, and it's not on like Tajima's that I know of, but like it's more with like the patch cutting, like the laser machines that'll take the picture and do it all via camera. I think that's pretty interesting, but we don't necessarily, work on that kind of stuff. But just industry wise, like that's like one of my big customers is Outdoor Cap down in Arkansas, and I've been down there to visit their business a few years ago, and they had one of those laser cutting machines for the leather patches, and it's just the technology is just crazy.
Well, speaking of technology, and I want to head back to the Toyota for a minute and old parts. when Jeff and when Jeff and I and Justin and Matthew were down at the Fort Worth show, where I got to meet Liz and so many other people down there. But when we were down there, Jeff took me over to this Toyota machine, and they had a looper foot on it. And that company, I don't know what company it was, but they have, what is that, Jeff? Was it called a Pro It or something? That machine that the guy had out, the machine that he brought out, but it's a looper foot that is from 1990s. It makes faux chenille. It's like it loops. It has real yarn. It loops it and it stitches it in a row. So it goes loop, 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 and it's stitching behind it as it's looping, it's stitching, and it goes back, and it's like it looks like a rug. But do you know anything? And so they have 5 of them in stock, and they won't turn them loose. The part is about $500. It's from the 1990s, like I said. And he said that Jeff shared with me that they won't let them go unless you put it on an old Toyota or something like that, or some machine.
They're not selling them without a machine.
Yeah, so
attached to them.
Can you fix that? Because these were like some really cool, like really cool. They were the coolest old technology I've ever freaking seen, and I can't really forget it.
No, I haven't seen that. I mean, we do like some stuff with chenille machines and parts for those. We can get those, but I haven't heard of that faux chenille.
So it's similar to a cording device, except it's essentially it sits on the end of a needle bar. So like on my machine, it'd be all the way on the left on needle 15, and it draws a loop between 2 presser feet, and then they both come down, they pinch the loop in, and the needle drops down in the center and sews the loop down.
It has some little springy thingy that's like,
yep.
Really cool.
I've seen them in a book, and that was the first time I've ever seen one in real life, and I thought it was really neat to see something like that in real life.
So is it called a looper foot though, Jeff?
In the book, it is called a looper foot.
It's Toyota?
It was on a Toyota. In the book, it's Punch by Bonnie Nielsen. They had it. The one that's in the book, it was on a ZSK.
Huh.
Do you think could you send that to Nick and see if he can source those? Those things are the bomb, man.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get a picture out of the book.
Great, thank you.
You could scan the book and send me a picture or whatever.
Yeah. That'd be really cool, because those things are just like awesome.
It seems like chenille right now, being able to do it on your regular embroidery machine versus buying a chenille machine, there's a lot of interest in that.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So Letty here says, luckily when the pandemic was first mentioned, I had placed an order for several 500-foot spools and
wow,
found it still for $30. Several of us through the mask phase. Yep. And Tracy here says, from paper tapes to thread trimmers, adjustable presser feet, cameras.
Oh, nice.
Definitely cool.
Nice.
Letty says, so growing up, did you think you'd step into the business, and what are you doing to advance the business in the changing playing field of suppliers?
I didn't think that I would really get into it. They started the business when I was graduating high school, so the last thing on my mind was working. It was school and
true that,
conquering the world or whatever. That didn't happen, but I eventually came to the point where I saw the potential and then the stability, and came to appreciate small business and kind of working for yourself. As far as advancing the business, we're trying to kind of bring it into the 21st century with kind of getting our web presence up there, expanding with who we deal with, who we help, like not trying to pigeonhole ourselves to just big companies or industrial companies. Like I'll sell backing and needles to anybody that wants them, you know what I mean? Like it's not trying to be tied down. And we, as far as the changing world of suppliers, we try to diversify as much as we can. We try to spread out our purchasing as much as we possibly can, so that if one well dries up, there's another one.
Oh, good. That's smart. Multi-sourcing.
So Laura asks, what do you like better, Tajima or Baradin?
Well, if you haven't figured it out, it's Tajima. But I really like Baradin machines. They're good machines. I have nothing to knock them. But
you're dyed-in-the-wool Tajima dude. Is what you are.
We sell a lot of Baradin parts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a distant second as far as the parts we sell. It's just hard to source them.
Oh, so Tajima is easier to get parts for, also, out of the two machines that you sell for.
Yeah, and you got to know the right people.
So I guess this would be, do you ship to Australia or internationally for that matter?
Yeah, we do ship internationally. It's just on one hand, at one point it becomes cost prohibitive for the end user to buy things here and pay $200-$300 just to ship some parts. I mean, well, we sell a lot of stuff to like South America and Canada. And
how do you ship? What are your shipping?
We have a customer in the UK, and it's just like whatever you want to pay for shipping wise,
Okay, so you'll use whatever shipping system, like whatever shipping, like delivery can get it to that person in the best way, and whatever they're willing to bear.
Right.
I mean, I think that comes down to, do I have to pay an exorbitant amount of shipping for this board, or do I have to buy a new machine?
Yeah,
and
it does.
Some people I can definitely see saying, you know what, I'm going to spend another $500 on shipping and get this $2,000 board for my 12 head.
We're not going to send a box of backing to Australia. It's not going to benefit you at that point. You might as well just tear your shirt up and use it.
Yeah.
Too expensive.
Oh my gosh.
Gotcha. All right. So here's a question, and it's a loaded question. This is gonna be fun. But if you were gonna buy a machine today, what are the features you would look for?
Ooh.
When making a decision, what would you use to compare machines to determine which one would work best for you?
My main things, and what I tell people is, how easy is it to get your machine serviced if you need service, and how easy is it to get replacement parts?
What about resale value?
It just depends, because hopefully you buy a machine that'll last you for a Tajima will last you for 25 years if you take
right.
care.
But what if you were in a single head or a double and you wanted to up it? Would you look at that resale value?
Yeah, I mean, with anything, you want to know, it's not going to be a worthless piece of junk when you're done with it. But
when you get it.
Obviously, first, the most important thing is how well does it work, right?
Yes.
So if everything's equal on how well something works, if 3 machines all work well, then how easy is it going to be for me to get a tech out here? How easy is it going to be to replace the knives when they get dull, or to replace the rotary hook when it goes bad or picks up a needle? Like, those are things that people don't necessarily consider. They see the price and say, oh, this one's cheap, but then, okay, I can't get a tech out here for 6 months when I need it. That's a big deal.
It is, indeed. It is. That's thinking forward. I like that.
So we have a comment and question here from Ramona. I believe the home office or home small business owner is going stronger every year. Would they have a difficulty buying from your shop, buying in smaller quantities versus the big guys? Do we have to pay higher prices for small orders? Will order often just smaller?
No, that's a good question. No, it's not going to be, we're not upcharging somebody because they're small. As with anything, if you buy a bunch of it, you can get a better deal. Like, that's anything from anywhere. If you buy bulk, you're going to get a better price. But, we try to be able to service everybody. Like with needles, the smallest thing we sell on needles is a box of 100, just to make things easy. You know what I mean? Like, I know some people can only buy a 10-pack at a time or whatever. And
not many, I don't think, right? Though, I mean, if you have a multi-needle machine, you need multi-needles.
Right.
But some people run a single needle, and it's like, yeah, you only need 10, but why?
Yeah, I mean, the smallest that we sell on the needles is a box of 100.
Yeah.
Most of our backing pre-cut sheets, the smallest unit of sale is like a 500 pack. Everything else is pretty individually. We don't like bundle stuff together and say you have to buy 10 or you have to buy a box of it, besides needles, obviously, or like bobbins, you have to buy a box of bobbins. We're not going to pull 5 bobbins out of a box and sell them. But we try our best to keep our prices as low and reasonable as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everything's, as everybody probably knows, going up just because of all this inflation and stuff going on.
Yep.
But we don't like say, oh, our cost went up 10%, so we're going to go up 20. It's like we try to keep it at the levels that we get charged.
Right. There you go.
There's a lot of people that kind of complain or want free shipping, and it's like, well, you're not. If somebody gives you free shipping, you're not really getting free shipping. You're paying for it somewhere, like the product's more expensive or whatever, because somebody can't send 10,000 sheets of backing out to you and
eat that cost.
Eat it, right. So we just try to keep our costs as low as possible for the end user, whether it's, like I said, grandma in her garage or a big company, because we're not trying to play games with people and be like, oh, we're not trying to get one-hit wonders on our website. We're not trying to say, well, come here and get free shipping on this order, and we're trying to do as many. We're trying to build a customer base and people that trust us, and then we can help.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna scratch off my next 3 questions based off of free shipping, because that one was coming. I was gonna ask if you guys had a threshold at any dollar figure that you guys offered free shipping. But
well, when we first revamped our website, we did for like about a year do like you spend $200, you get free shipping, and I'm not ruling that out as far as like a website only promotion, but just as a general philosophy, we try to just keep our prices as reasonable as we can.
Because it is true, when free shipping happens, that price has to go somewhere, because in business, if we don't charge for that, then you have to eat it, and then it's like you end up becoming a business that's slowly dying and on its way to closing its doors because you're chinsing away at everything.
Well, it's not like the profit margins are giant on all this stuff to where you can just eat the free shipping. Like certain things, like I can be reasonable with somebody. If you want to buy, 20 Mighty Hoops from me, then work out either a different on the hoop or free shipping on the hoop. Like case by case basis. Like we're not trying to be rigid with anything.
Right.
That's one thing that I've noticed that it seems like a lot of people don't realize is if it's free, it means it's free to you. It doesn't mean it doesn't cost somebody something.
Right. It does cost somebody something. And like all of us are in business. All of us are making a living off of what we do. And I think it's important that we continue to stay as a team and work together and not try to, maybe get that little extra something right now, because later that person, I would rather pay the shipping and see that business survive than have 82 of me's that they have to send it to and close their doors because they were overly generous.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. And Matt says I could use 20 Mighty Hoops.
Yeah, I'm sure we all could. They're great. We're a distributor for them.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, even if we weren't a distributor, I'd be pushing them because they're really awesome.
I get asked by people, what would you buy when you start your business? And when I came into it, I didn't buy everything that I should have bought when I was financing it all and could have got it all right away.
Right.
But one of the first things I say is if you're going to do left chest, you're going to do polos, you need Mighty Hoops.
Yeah.
And do jacket backs, you need Mighty Hoops.
Right.
Because it's not necessarily that they do a better job. It just makes it easier and faster.
Well, and if you have people working for you, or if you're, let's say, an older person, like it's going to save your wrists. Number one, it's going to save your operator's wrists, and your end product's going to look better because you don't get the hoop burn, and it's just keeps it tighter,
No carpal tunnel workman comp.
Right, exactly.
So Ramona says, I'm looking at your site. Can you tell me anything about your Poly Pro Twill?
So I will make you a deal on Twill for the most part. We had a big customer that was buying, like, I would say 20 rolls of Twill a week. And so I had to be stocked up, and they stopped buying it. So I have a lot of Twill. It's good Twill. It's very high quality Twill. But I don't necessarily have a customer to take it all. So
You've got Twill.
basically, besides black and white Twill, any other colors, I will gladly wheel and deal on.
So Ramona says, sorry, let me add maybe smaller quantities. I don't know what quantities you sell.
They're 25-yard rolls.
Oh, okay.
Are you willing to cut a roll? Is I think the question there.
Yeah, depending on the color. Like I said, not black or white, because that's something that like I have a lot of turnover on. Like I got no problem selling black and white Twill. But the other color, I mean, I'd rather cut you a yard than I'd rather sell a yard than sell nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know some companies that they charge a cut fee. So if you want to cut off the roll, they charge you a cut fee to do that.
We don't do that.
So I'm going to grab a couple of comments here. Matt says, I'd take even one, still don't have one yet. Tracy says, I could use I want a mighty hoop. Let me go ahead and show you that website address that you can go to again, Pinpoint International. Matt asks, do you have sample sheets of the twills that you use?
Yeah, so just if you shoot me an email and let me know what you're looking for and your address and stuff, I can get you out a sample.
And what width are your rolls?
They're about 16, 17 inches by 25 yards.
So if they're 16, 17 inches, that's going to mean that they're more than likely coated with something.
Yeah, I should mention that. Yeah, they're all PSA. So they got the pressure sensitive adhesive on the back of them.
Do they come on a carrier sheet?
Yeah, it's got the transfer paper.
Okay. What's
his email? What's his email? Is it nick@pinpointinternational.com?
Well, yep. I was going to let him give that out. I wasn't going to give it out for him. Contact us for no.
That's pinpointinternational.com. It's just nick@pinpointinternational.com.
There you go. You'll get right to this guy right here.
All right. And Ramona says she is looking at 5 yards, I guess.
Yeah, no problem.
Go ahead and send Nick an email or give him a call. Do you answer the phones?
No, we have people that answer the phones, but I do have a direct line that's in my email, but I can, what is my direct line? I don't know it offhand, but shoot me an email and I email you back, you'll have my direct line.
There it is. That's
all right. I'm not going to give out your phone number either. I'll let you do that if you're going to give it out.
It's Tracy a direct work line, so it's all good.
Yeah. Tracy says, thank you. I need Twill too. Letty says, I see a nerd patch special coming.
Oh boy.
Don't get us started on that. Thank you. And Matt, how dense so your customers? Okay. So how dense can you sew onto your twill? I believe that's the question.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I don't have those specifics offhand. But my customers that have bought that twill tell me it's better than anything else they buy, if that means anything. I haven't personally done patches on it, but I know that it's good twill.
Matthew, you'll have to get some and let us know. Matthew is the fourth nerd of the four of us. Justin, Jeff, me, Matthew. So that's the other one.
Yeah, I mean, let me know. I can send a sample and you can test it out and give me those specs.
Cool.
So Matt primarily makes Air Force patches.
Okay.
So he tends to drill a lot of density. Detailed designs with they want a million trims in them.
Patch Phrase is his company. Patch Phrase, PATCHPHRASE. Nice work too.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's really high quality. So I would imagine you can get a lot of stitches in there.
We need beer. You never know what's in here, Fred. People always ask me what's in my little magic cup.
it's spiked.
We never know what's going on in here.
I do.
Oh, you always know. It's
So, how large is your company?
In what way you mean?
well, how many
So,
people you got?
I guess, how many square foot warehouse do you have? Employees? Are you like mom and pop still, kind of? Or are you
Right now,
transitioned into?
we have 10 employees, and we have an office space connected to a warehouse. It's a pretty good sized warehouse. I don't know the exact square footage, maybe like 6,000. Not sure.
We're in St. Louis, Missouri, y'all.
St. Louis, Missouri. So we're in the center of the country, so that helps us as far as like cut shipping times down to most places. Obviously, California is 4 days.
Nice.
Much everywhere else is within 2 or 3 days from us.
Okay.
We also warehouse, like we work with some people, other companies, and we also warehouse things around the country. So like if you needed something that I didn't have in St. Louis, I could probably, drop ship it from somewhere else to you that's a little closer, or, it just helps cut down on overhead.
Cool.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can't imagine stocking a 6,000 square foot warehouse.
No, that's a lot of stuff.
We're pushing
must be fun.
We doubled our warehouse space about.
You did. You moved. I was shipping one place and then I was shipping somewhere. And remember, the UPS drivers were giving me such a freaking hard time about, is it Xing or crossing? And it's like, what's wrong with you guys? Doesn't it all mean the same thing?
Right. Yeah, they're weird. But we moved across the street to about double the size warehouse, and
they didn't seem to know.
Too. We could probably stand to go bigger or go up, like get some racks.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot. Yeah. Do you primarily ship like UPS, FedEx, USPS, dealer's choice?
Mainly UPS, FedEx if they ask for it. Pretty much anything within reason that you want me to do. Like we get decent rates on UPS for our company, but we'll ship stuff mail if it's
so desired or whatever.
Right. Like generally UPS, FedEx, and USPS for the most part.
So I'm gonna throw you on the spot again. One of my earlier jobs in life was I worked at a golf car dealership, and we would stock parts and parts and service. One of the things that I cringed a little bit about when they told us about it, but if you ordered before X amount of time in the day, it was guaranteed to ship that day. Do you guys do that kind of stuff, or just
we do everything in our power to get stuff out the same day? Like we're fanatic about it almost. Like we make sure our UPS driver doesn't pick up till about 5:00, like right before we're about to close. So anything up to about 4:30 Central Time, we'll get out that day if at all possible.
Nice.
Really, we understand that like if you're calling us for parts, for the most part, you need them. So we're not gonna like sit on them. And if it's gonna take me 2 days, I'll tell you it's gonna take me 2 days. Like if I don't have something and it's gonna take me 2 days to get it, I'll tell you and we'll work something out. But yeah, we do our best to get everything out that same day if at all possible.
Wow.
All right. So we're going to kind of wrap up here a little bit. We're kind of closing up on the end of the hour. Is there anything that you would like to tell the people that are watching or will be watching again later on?
Yep.
Just that we will take care of it. If you call in or you email us, like it's not like you email and you don't get a response for 3 hours. Like if somebody emails me, I try to email them right away. I'm on top of.
You're fast. I have to admit, every time that I send you an email, it's like boom, you're back.
Right. And if you call in, you talk to somebody. You don't get sent to an answering machine or like a real person picks up the phone and then they transfer you to a real person who's going to help you. And whatever your issue is, we'll take care of it. Everyone that works there is very knowledgeable. Any salesperson you talk to at Pinpoint is going to be able to figure out your issue and get you the parts you need or point you in the right direction. And I want to say that if you don't see it on the website, it doesn't mean we can't get it. Just email me, call. If you throw it at me, I will find it if I can find it.
Looperfoot.
Yeah.
She just
information.
openly threw it at you.
I did. I'm throwing it down, man. That thing has just been on my heart ever since freaking that show.
Yeah, send me as much information as you can about it. I'll figure it out.
You, Jeff.
Don't point at me.
You're the guy with the book.
Well.
He's the guy that can find it.
Yeah. I'll take a picture of it. It's not the greatest picture in the book, and it has a short paragraph that describes it.
But needs, I think, is a clue. I'm kind of getting that idea. This guy knows.
Thing helps. We're kind of part detectives, you know.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Truly.
I'm just gonna pull this up from Matt. So Pinpoint can pinpoint where you need to go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, Matthew.
Company slogan. We have Ramona here saying real people are good. I like real people.
Yeah. Yep.
So
if you decide you don't want to talk to a real person, you can email and we'll answer your emails. And you don't have to talk to anybody if you don't want to.
There you go.
Well, that's good because sometimes when I call places, I have a problem with not knowing when to stop talking, and I could talk for hours.
I got a few customers like that, but it's all good.
All right. So go ahead, Jerry Lee.
That's all. I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here, Nick, and for this is our first interview like this, and for helping us get here tonight and being so patient.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're awesome.
Appreciate the exposure and everything.
Yeah.
No, I'd like to thank you for joining us here and spending the last hour getting harassed a little bit with some crazy questions.
Oh, it's all good.
Nice.
But if you guys are watching and you want to find out more about Nick's company, you can go to pinpointinternational.com.
What's his email again?
It's info at
it's Nick.
Nick at pinpointinternational.com.
Info at fullerembroideryworks.com.
Yeah, you're gonna get a bounce back on that one. But I'd like to thank you for spending your time with us here and letting us get to know you a little bit better. It's always fun to learn about the people behind the companies,
right.
And go from there. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close everything out here. So again, this is Nick Bushhorn. I had to read that because I don't want to say it wrong.
People mess up my whole life, so
try not to. But this is Nick here with Pinpoint International. We have Jerry Lee Medeiros from Sun Facer Manufacturing, and I'm Jeff Fuller with Fuller Embroidery Works, and we're here with the Embroidery Nerd. And we'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with us, and have a great night.
We'll see you next Thursday with something fun again.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.